When Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine, Putin's justification was clear. He wanted to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. It was a mission to free Ukrainians from the current government, and Putin insisted that he did not intend to occupy Ukraine or impose anything on anyone by force. Now, as we enter the fourth week of the invasion, Ukraine still remains standing, and diplomatic efforts to bring about any resolution continue. But Vladimir Putin's goals that were set out on February 24th seem to have watered down while the bombardment continues. Latest reports from the meetings indicate that Russia is no longer seeking to overthrow the government, but instead aiming for a neutral Ukraine.
Именно принципиальные для России и для нашего будущего вопросы по нейтральному статусу Украины, по демилитаризации и денацификации мы были готовы и готовы сейчас обсуждать в ходе переговоров. Наша страна сделала все для организации и проведения этих переговоров, понимая, что необходимо использовать любую возможность для того, чтобы сберечь людей и их жизни. Но мы вновь и вновь убеждаемся, что киевскому режиму, которому его западные хозяева поставили задачу создать агрессивную антироссию, судьба самого народа Украины безразлична.
Top Kremlin officials have said that a neutral Ukraine along the lines of Sweden or Austria was being discussed at talks with Kyiv. Ukraine has now made its own demands clear. It wants a ceasefire, the complete withdrawal of Russian troops, but its biggest ask is a legally binding security guarantee.
Заради миру для нас делегація України говорить з делегацією Росії. І я хочу, щоб мене зараз всі почули. Усі наші громадяни України. Переговори продовжуються. Переговори заради України. Мої пріоритети на переговорах абсолютно зрозумілі. Завершення війни, гарантії безпеки, суверенітет, відновлення територіальної цілісності. Реальні гарантії для нашої країни, реальний захист для нашої країни. Слава усім нашим героям. Слава Україні!
For more details about what's happening on ground in Ukraine, our correspondent Anas Malik now joins us live from Kyiv. Anas, thanks for joining us. I want to start our discussion by talking about what's happening in Mariupol. The city has been under siege for weeks now, and the recent updates and reports show that a drama theatre, which was essentially serving as a bomb shelter, has now been shelled. Tell us more.
Well, yes, Priyanka, the drama theatre in Mariupol that was housing thousands of citizens, as what local media reports indicate, that citizens were taking shelter in there. That was targeted late evening yesterday by Russian strikes, and that was razed to ground. Now, the number of casualties still unknown, but we understand, and we've seen increase in shelling on residential areas in Mariupol. Now, it's not just limited to the scope of shelling, is not just limited to Mariupol, or the attacks are not limited to Mariupol per se. They've been happening in other parts of the country as well, including where I am in the capital city of Kiev, where shelling and targeting of residential areas continue. Now, where I'm standing, the building behind me, this was subjected to a strike that was that was intercepted by the Ukrainian air defense, but the debris of the rocket fell on a residential compound, and as a reason of which we're seeing that this structure of this, a portion of this building had partially collapsed as well. One person has been confirmed killed, whereas another 4 are injured, whereas 65 have been rescued from this very building. Now, this is not the first building that has been hit, or the residential compound that has been hit, or been part of the collateral as a reason of this this interception. We've seen that happening over the whole past week, and this is probably the 5th consecutive night where we're seeing that a civilian building or a residential compound has taken a hit. Priyanka?
Right. Anas, coming back to Mariupol now, Moscow has denied bombing the theatre, as it has denied bombing this Russian building, and Russia claims that the building was destroyed in an attack by the Ukrainian nationalist Azov battalion. Can you give us some details about that as well?
Well, the Azov battalion is a nationalist, or how they call it, a supporter of the army or a militia. But the Ukrainian side denies that. The Ukrainian side says that it was done by the Russian airstrikes. We're seeing this exchange of statements from either of the sides, and not the first time. As I said, it's been a norm, it's been a usual that there is an attack and then there is condemnation and denial by both the sides and blame game as well. But the bigger problem at hand remains is it's the civilians that continue to suffer, as it is in Mariupol, as it is in Kiev, as it is in other parts of the country. Priyanka?
Absolutely, Anna. Since you mentioned the civilians, I want you to tell our viewers about what's happening in Ukraine, particularly the capital as of now. Are groceries easily available? We understand there was a martial law imposed, a curfew of sorts. Evacuations are ongoing. What's happening around you as residential buildings are now being shelled?
Well, as I said that I'm standing outside a building in the Danisa area that is in the east of Kiev, and you can see behind me that this is the debris of the building that had taken a hit. A missile, a rocket was intercepted, and it actually fell down. After the interception, it fell down on the building, and this is the impact it left on the residential compound that it fell on. You can see that residents are still evacuating. At least one person is confirmed killed, whereas another 65 were rescued and 4 are confirmed injured. The strike took place around 5 a.m., just some minutes past 5 a.m., and the impact was felt. The waves were felt as far as a kilometer. That's what local residents here tell me. They're also they say that it was quite of a scary sight. They're living with the trauma for now of the impact, and as I said, this is not the first time when civilian areas continue to suffer or continue to be targeted. We've seen that happening over this entire week, and at least 10 civilians are confirmed killed in the capital city of Kiev in these what is said are Russian strikes on residential compounds. Priyanka?
Right, Anas, thank you so much for all those updates from on ground in Kyiv and Ukraine. Thanks for joining us on WION with the latest. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.